Hi everybody, welcome to the pre-scene analysis of the strategic case study examination for May and August of 2024. So in this video series, we will be looking at the pre-scene in more detail and we will try to understand about our industry and about our company better. We will also look at possible areas for questions in the exam throughout this document as well. So by looking at the logo of our company itself, you'll get some idea as to what we do in the company. But as we move forward, you will learn much more about the company. We are a very complicated company, so you will learn more about it as we progress through this pre-scene. Alright, moving forward, Saefwell is a quoted company that offers advice and support on corporate security and enterprise risk management. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack there, right? First of all, we are a quoted company. What that means is questions surrounding the stock price is likely in the exam, right? So you will get different questions surrounding stock price. So you have to be very aware of all the theory that's relevant to share price, right? So things like efficient market hypothesis, things like systematic risk, those things are important. We'll look at these in a bit more detail later, but it's important that you have the required theoretical knowledge to understand these areas. And we offer advice and support on corporate security and enterprise risk management. Okay, so we offer advice and support, right? So we offer support on corporate security and enterprise risk management. So from the outset, it's very clear that we are a service company, right? We are not a product company, but we are a service company. Okay, so the interesting word here is enterprise risk management, right? So you already must know about this from your P3 theory areas, but we look at this a bit more here. So this is a P3 subject area, right? So enterprise risk management is the process of methodically identifying and addressing the potential events that represent risks to the achievement of strategic objectives or to opportunities to gain a competitive advantage. So enterprise risk management is where we methodically identify and address potential events that represent risks to the company, right? Basically. So we do that to gain a competitive advantage, to ensure that we are ready to face risks, right? So we offer advice and support on corporate security and enterprise risk management. We'll of course look at these in more detail as we move forward as to what we actually do, right? Don't worry about it. If you're not clear as to what we do from this first sentence itself, don't worry. We'll learn more about this as we move along. The company offers a number of different services ranging from the provision of security guarding to consulting on enterprise risk management. So we provide things like security guards, right? We provide security to physical security basically, and we also consult on ERM. Consultancy activities range from advising on systems to counter security threats, like it can be both physical and cyber security threats, to the provision of intelligence and investigations intended to address evolving threats. Okay, so you can clearly see even our consultancy business is wide range, right? We do a lot of things through our consultancy business as well. So it can be things from advising how to counter physical or cyber security threats, and it can go beyond that to provision of intelligence and investigations intended to address any evolving risks or threats risks that our clients might face, right? All right. Again, don't worry too much. You will learn more about what we do later. So don't worry if you don't really understand what we do from this paragraph itself. That's completely fine. You're a senior manager in Saefwell's finance function. You report directly to the board and advise on special projects and strategic matters. So as you report directly to the board, your boss is going to be the CFO, right? Your immediate boss is your CFO. Saefwell operates on a global basis with regional offices in several countries. Okay, so we are a global company, right? As soon as we are a global company, it brings up certain points, right? So we are a global company. So knowledge on IAS 21 or the effects of changes in forex rates or the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates would be important, the standard, right? Being a global company has its own challenges and risks as well. So again, it's important to have proper knowledge on forex, right? So IAS 21 is important in that regard. And as you already know, being a global company has its own challenges and risks associated with it, right? And we also have regional officers in several countries. So this might be a source of questions in the exam, right? So something can happen in one of those countries. We might be expanding into a new country. We might have to close down in one country. There are endless possibilities of questions. So knowing that we have regional officers in several countries would be important for you when you formulate answer. Its head office is in Barrland. Okay, so we are located, our base is in Barrland, the country Barrland, a developed country that has an active and well-regulated stock exchange. So as soon as they say we are a developed country, right, it's quite likely that we have high standards of living and high levels of economic activity, which is a positive for any company, right? Barland's currency is the B dollar. Okay, so as a currency is the B dollar, it's quite likely that this is a functional currency of the company as well. So functional currency according to IAS 21, right? However, remember that this is not definitively given anywhere in the pre-scene, but it's quite likely by looking at the financial statements that this is a functional currency as well. I mean, it can be a presentation currency too, but this is not given anywhere, but it's safe to assume that our functional currency is the B dollar as well. Of course, Barland requires companies to prepare their financial statements according to IFRS. So Saefwell was founded in 1920 as a security company. So we were found, right? Or rather, we were founded as a security company in 1920, right? Therefore, the company is 104 years old. So it must have a well-established culture, right? We are a very, very old company. We are more than 100 years old. So it's quite likely that we have a well-established culture. So things like change management might be a bit difficult because we have a very set culture, right? The company continues to offer physical security services, currently employing 460,000 security staff operating in 74 countries. All right. So we employ a lot of staff, right? We'll see exactly how many people we employ later, but just know that just for our physical security services, we employ about 460,000 people, right? So, and we operate in 74 countries. So as we discussed before as well, right, knowledge on IAS 21 would be important because being a global company has its own challenges and risks, right? So for you to ensure that you know how to answer questions on the exam day, your knowledge on IAS 21 would be important. Saefwell has been a major provider of intelligence-led risk management services since the 1970s. So basically, since 1920, we have been providing physical security services, right? And since the 1970s, we have been providing intelligence-led risk management services as well. The company now employs 22,000 risk management consultants, most of whom are based in the company's head office in Barrland's capital city and at 4 regional offices around the world. All right. So we employ 22,000 risk management consultants as well. So we employ 460,000 physical security staff and we employ 22,000 risk management consultants as well. So these consultants are based either in our head office or they are also based around the world in 4 different regional offices. Risk management consultants expect to travel to assignments, enabling the company to provide almost worldwide coverage for our intelligence-led services. So, our consultants would travel for a job. Therefore, we are essentially able to provide worldwide coverage. Saefwell has completed consultancy and training projects in 132 countries over the past 20 years. That's a lot of countries, right? So we have completed training projects or consultants and training projects in 132 countries. Therefore, it's quite likely that we have been accepted around the world as a leader in intelligence-led security services, right? Because that's why they employ our services. So we have completed projects in 132 countries. So it's quite likely that we are a world leader in the intelligence-led security services sector or the segment. Okay. So in terms of employees, right? So currently we have 460,000 security staff, right? So those are physical security staff. We also have 22,000 consultants, right? So they are in the intelligence-led security services segment. In addition to those two, we have many other employees in different functions in the head office as well, right? We have employees that are employed in other functions in the head office. So it's safe to assume that we have a total staff of about 500,000 employees, right? So we probably have about 500,000 employees working for us. That's quite impressive, and it might bring its own challenges with it, because managing 500,000 people, right? Managing 500,000 people is never easy. The company was quoted on the Barrland Stock Exchange in 1991. So basically, we have been a quoted company for 33 years, so a long, long time. Saefwell provides its own training program for security guards, ensuring that all exceed the minimum requirements for licensing purposes in their home countries. So if you remember, in the last video, we learned that most third-party security staff require special licenses to provide their services. So what they are saying is, Saefwell itself provides its own training programs for these security guards, ensuring that they exceed the minimum requirements in those native countries, right? Rather, in those countries. The company provides ongoing training to ensure that all security staff are aware of their responsibilities and can fulfill those in a safe and professional manner, of course. So we provide ongoing training as well, which is very important. Saefwell also pays well, exceeding competitors' hourly rates by as much as 10%. So we pay well, right? That's a good thing, right? So this would be helpful for the company to attract talent, right? We would be able to attract good people because we pay them above market wages. That's quite important, right? That even would help us to gain a competitive advantage because we pay well. That's important. All right. Saefwell provides the following physical security services. So we already looked at these in the previous video also, but here let's look at what we provide as Saefwell. Of course, first of all, it's reception, right? We already looked at this. So large office buildings usually have security measures, right? So to ensure that people who are entering have the required authentication, right? So these authentication measures would include things like requiring staff to operate a gate using their staff pass or their staff ID, right? And asking visitors to sign in at a reception desk, right? We as Saefwell, we use experienced staff to provide reception services because intruders could gain access to sensitive information and could pose a threat to senior management. Yes, so in this job, right, the staff at the reception must have high levels of emotional intelligence or EQ, because that would help them understand the motives of the people who are coming to them, right? So this is where experience becomes crucial. That's why Saefwell hires experienced staff, not just somebody, right? They hire experienced people because these people need to have high levels of emotional intelligence to understand the motives of people who are coming to them.